If you're thinking about moving to Greenville, South Carolina, I'd hold up a second. Not all homes are worth your hard-earned money. In this video, I'm going to go over the top 5 types of houses you do not buy in Greenville. Some will just be costly nightmares. Some will be legal drama that you don't want to deal with, and some will crumble right underneath your feet. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing I want to go over with you is foundation issues. Whether it's an older home or a new home, it can still have foundation issues. We have red clay here, and it expands and contracts like the crazy humidity of July summers. You just never know what's going to happen. So if you see stair like cracks in the foundation, that's not a great sign. If you see things like cracks in the walls or a door not shutting properly, it's really not a great sign. It's a red flag. So what you want to think about is making sure that you get an inspection, not just a home inspection, but a foundation inspection if the home inspection shows anything like that. If there's even a hint of foundational issues, you want to make sure you get a foundation inspection. It's really important. It can be $20, $30, even $40,000 to fix a crazy repair like that. And the seller may just not know because they're not educated on it. Red clay is what's underneath our ground, and heat will make it tighten, and then water makes it expand. So if all of this is going on underneath your home and you just don't know what's happening, you're not omitting anything, you just don't know, but you don't want to take on that crazy burden. So you never buy a house that has foundation issues, ever. If you're new to the channel and you want to know everything there is about Greenville and the upstate as a whole, make sure you hit subscribe and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about everything in the upstate. I'm Tracy Roberts with the Atlas Home Team, and we've helped so many people relocate here, and we'd love to help you as well. Number 2, condemned properties or even tax sale properties. So condemned properties may look like a fixer-up steal. All you're going to have to do is clean it up, all of that kind of stuff. But here's the problem. There could be code violations, there could be liens, all this red tape to go through that's so long, that it's so drawn out, you wouldn't even be able to move in. So you've got all this time, all this work that still has to be done to this property, and you can't do any of it until you go through the courts or you go through the county to figure out what you have to do. And there's permits and all of that stuff. So it may not be the right property. Now, if you have time or you want to go through that, we can start sorting it out with you, but it's not something we highly recommend at all. And then tax sales, there could be clouds on that title. And what that means is over the last 40 years, the chain of title was broken. Maybe there was one owner and they passed away, and then their heirs, there was 3 of them, and only 2 were told about it and the 3rd wasn't. And somehow it got passed on to other people. And then somehow they gave title insurance, but it didn't get to happen now because there's a tax sale that you're going to have to go back and have them comb through, and they're going to comb through it even harder then. And so you can't get title insurance until after this is done, or pass a general warranty deed to your buyer if you ever sell it. So you will be ending up with a property that you're going to have to hold on to, that you have no way to have insurance on the title itself. And it's just a whole bunch of drama that you do not want to go through when you want to have a property that you're going to have as your home, and you may want to downsize or upgrade later from and be able to do something with it. Number 3, mobile homes or modular homes. It's very important to understand not all of them are bad, but here in Greenville, South Carolina, when you're purchasing a mobile home, financing can be tricky. Yes, you can get it, but understand that financing is like a title on a vehicle. So it has a VIN number, so the interest rate's going to be higher. And then later on, if you were to buy it and have it on somebody else's land originally, when you're moving it to the land you buy, you're having to pay for it to be moved. You're having to pay for it now to be called detitled. It's where they take and retire the title on the mobile home, and then you're combining the tax number on the land to have a new tax number for you to have one tax you to pay. If not, you're paying property tax on the mobile home and then property tax on that land, and it can get messy and crazy. The best way to do this is when you buy one, have it already on land, 1990 or newer, so you can get an actual home loan on it, and it will be less interest that you'll pay on it because the interest rate's less, and it's a lot easier for you. Or if you're buying a brand new one, you can have that and buy the land at the same time, and then that way they can detitle it during the process, and you don't have to worry about having multiple tax bills and all the confusion of that. It can be hairy, but it definitely can be done. And sometimes it's more cost effective to some people, or if they're buying a bunch of land and they're getting a mobile home at first until they're having their home built behind it or in a different part of the land, it works out great. But for a lot of people, mobile homes are just too crazy of a situation and they'd rather just buy stick built. Number 4, this one is high risk locations. And so this one will sneak right up on you. It could be like floodplains, airplane patterns, high traffic zones. It could even be train tracks. So let's unpack them a little bit. These can cost you things like extra homeowners insurance. If you have regular homeowners insurance and you have a floodplain in your yard, even a section of it, depending on the size of the section will depend on how much your homeowners insurance will go up from flood insurance. That could cost you $1,000, maybe $2,000 more a year. And if you're right on that verge when it comes to your insurance to make it to where your payment is where you're wanting it, I think I would want my payment to reflect off of what I bought in the home, not off of homeowners insurance, wouldn't you? And then if you're looking at high traffic areas, you could go look at a house at 10:30 in the morning and it's all quiet, no big deal, because you didn't realize that 5:30, that being that close to the highway on 385 or maybe Woodruff Road or something like that made it really loud for your house because you had maybe a little backyard or your side yard was right next to it, and you just don't really want to deal with that. So if you're in the flight path of the airport, because we have GSP and there's lots of planes coming out, if you're in that flight path and you don't want to deal with 1 a.m. or 11 p.m. flight paths or trains, even if you're next to the train tracks, because there's lots of trains here going through, so say Simpsonville or Taylor's, and you don't know what that's like, make sure you get a copy of the train schedules. You're not going to have the best copy, like you're not going to know if they change or anything like that. But if you're right on the train track and you don't want your window shaking every 30 minutes, there could be a reason that house has been on the market for 150 days. Let's just double check all of that. You don't want that to happen to you, because if that does happen and you do want to sell it, it's really hard to sell a house that you just bought and want to sell it after 60 days. That would be horrible. Number 5, shared walls. So what are shared walls? See, here in Greenville, we have townhouses and condos and things like that. And if you're moving from out of state to the upstate, you may be thinking low maintenance, easy living, but let's slow down for a second. We want to make sure that you're thinking about things that could happen. So if you have shared walls, you also have shared roofs and things like that. If the HOA isn't covering that and that it's something that you're going to maintain, which happens often, so say that the roof happens in a hurricane or something like that. We don't have a lot of hurricanes, but say that we just had a storm or a tree falls down and both sides of the roof is messed up and you're getting your side of the roof fixed and they either don't have the money or their insurance or anything like that, and you want to get yours done, but they didn't. Here's the bigger issue. It's not just an eyesore. It's not just frustration. When it leaks, it will leak into your roof and into your attic and into your walls, and there's really nothing you can do about it. Your house will get messed up because of them not maintaining theirs. Is it always going to happen? No. But do you know if it's going to happen? No. Okay, so that's one problem you'll have. Also, if you're in one of those communities, many of them have HOAs. Okay, so here's the struggle. If they are not fully funded, if they are the ones handling those roofs and they're handling the exterior things, if things happen like that, they can schedule a special assessment anytime to recoup the money for all of those things. So if you don't have an HOA that has funds in a coffered account, so example, if there's not a large amount of money sitting there that's been stored over the years and they have that to utilize as a reserve account, then if something happens, you're going to get whacked with some hefty bill, and they don't have to give you a large amount of time to do that. So if they say it's a $10,000 assessment that you're going to have handed to you, they can tell you it's due in 2 months or it's due in 6 months. They don't have to tell you a certain monthly payment, you can pay it back. Now, do they at times? Yes, but not all do. And let's think about some other things with it. So if they're maintaining the property included in it, but they're not doing it to your liking, there's really nothing you can do about it, because the property management company is who hired them. So you have to talk to the property management company, and they're who are going to complain to the landscapers. And if they're not complaining to all of them, if everyone's not complaining, and if it's just your yard, there's probably no chance that it's going to be done any different. You're going to still have to maintain something. Does this happen every time? No. Ways to try to figure out which ones would be best for you is to figure out if they do have that reserve account. You want to also make sure it is a community that has a low turnover rate. A high turnover rate in a neighborhood, whether it's townhome or not, is a bad sign for a buyer moving in. Unless it's a huge community, that has a lot of amenities, like big single family home communities that have turnover rates because relocation or schools or things like that, it's not a great sign in a small community if there's a lot of turnover. So that's something to really think about. So now you know what not to buy in Greenville. So what do you buy in Greenville? That's where I come in. I'm Tracy Roberts with the Atlas Home Team, and we've helped hundreds of families relocate here to the upstate, and we'd love to help you have a smooth transition just as well. All of my information is below, and we'd love to have you reach out. Give us a call and we'll take great care of you.